Facebook Live. Hi, I'm Terry, and this is Terry Talks on Thursday. And I just wanted to jump in here and have a little coaching moment. I titled today's little tip, Let God Wake You Up. And I'm going to share a story that happened with me on Monday night where I feel like the Lord is like, I'm going to be speaking to my people. I'm going to be giving dreams, visions, downloads from heaven. And so oftentimes, it's not when you're busy at work, sitting at your desk or in a meeting. Oftentimes, He downloads, He gives information, He speaks when we're still, be still. And most of the time, that's at night. So I just want to encourage you with this message today is to let God wake you up. So Monday night, I went to sleep as normal. About 2 o'clock in the morning, I started having a very bothersome dream. Basically, someone was in my house. They were trying to just basically in my house and wouldn't let me in my house, trying to steal something. They just in my home, in my private space, and I woke up and I was so disturbed. The cortisol had shot off in my body. My heart was racing. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, it feels so real. What is this dream? I laid there a couple of minutes, trying to catch my breath, trying to compose myself. And then I was like, Lord, what was this dream about? So what I did is I got up from the bed. I know some people just jumping on. I'm talking about a dream I had on Monday night. It was very disturbing at 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning. So I got out of bed at 2:30. And I went into my living room. Normally, if I wake up, I'll get a cup of tea and maybe I'll even go to the bedroom upstairs if I feel like I can't go back to sleep so I don't wake my husband up in the morning. He can get his coffee. And so every now and then I'll have a night, but it's not a disturbing night. It's just that I could not go back to sleep. But this night, and I talk about this in my book, whenever God has a burden on your heart or an unrest on your spirit, that's where you want to pay close attention. Okay, because oftentimes He's getting ready to speak or He's burdening you enough for you to pay attention and to focus on Him. So I lay down on the sofa in my living room, and this is getting close to 3 o'clock now. During the time 12 and 3, in those hours, is when most of the warfare is going on in the spirit realm. And so I still didn't really know what was going on. I just know that it was disturbed. So I started praying in the spirit, and Lord, show me how to pray. And so then finally about 3 o'clock or so, I thought, okay, I had turned the TV on and I said, I'm going to try to go back to sleep. And so I'm laying there listening to the TV. And all of a sudden I said, I'm going to turn the TV off. I think and go back to sleep. So I turned the TV off. I turned on my side on the sofa to go back to sleep. It was probably 3:30 now. And all of a sudden the TV lights came on. Okay, so the TV lights came on in the room. Now, I can remember about 15 years ago when I really started seeking the Lord. I just was pressing in with the Lord during a season. That would happen to me often. In the middle of the night, my lamp would come on. And I always knew it was time for me to spend time with the Lord. Press in, pray. So I started just praying in the Spirit again. And fell back asleep, turned the TV off, fell back asleep. And my husband came in at about 5:30 and he sat on the end of the sofa, got his coffee, and he said, why are you laying on the sofa? Why didn't you go upstairs? I mean, what's going on? So I told him about my dream and how much unrest. And I said, I just felt like I was supposed to pray. And I kept just like, Lord, what? Tell me what? And so he's like, oh, wow, okay. And I said, I still don't really know what he was trying to tell me. I just prayed in the Spirit. I just prayed. And so then at about 6 o'clock, my brother, who is my next door neighbor, called my husband, Mark, on the phone, and he said, hey, at 5:30 this morning, there were some houses on the next street that were broken into. And the robber ended up in a lady's house and was looking over a little boy that was asleep on the sofa, staring at the little boy. And the mom came out and ran him out of the house. And he went running over to our property. The neighbor followed him. The woman called her neighbor, her husband was out of town, and said, oh my gosh, I just got robbed, da da da. And he jumps in his truck and he runs outside. He watches, he sees, he runs into my neighborhood, into my yard. My yard connects to the next door neighborhood. And so he comes over here in his truck and he's just searching the property, trying to find the guy. Like, where did he go? Where did he go to? It's like 6 o'clock. So we went outside and we talked to the guy, and he said he had, and it had been in the news on Tuesday. Someone had broken into all the cars in the neighborhood next door. And so what I want to say here is that oftentimes Okay, for me, after I processed through this and I was still with the Lord, I was like, oh my goodness, I mean, where's the guy? And then it started occurring to me. He started bearing witness to my spirit. You know, he will show you things, and I started realizing that I had actually prayed that off of our property, because I pray often Psalms 91 that the Lord, I dwell in the secret place of the Most High, the enemy can touch me not. And it says, you go a little further, and it says that he will lift you up so you will not dash his feet. He will put his pinions around you so that will protect you from the fiery darts. And so all these scriptures that I would pray over and over, and shut down the schemes of the enemy. And I walked the property, my husband and I, and we blessed the property, and so that we plead the blood of Jesus. And so there's so much word that's been planted. Unleash legions of angels to stand guard as a hedge of protection around our property. So he could not penetrate this house. The enemy could touch us not. But what I want to, like, what is this? How does this, why am I sharing this? How does this affect your life? Oftentimes the Lord will wake us up and get our prayers answered with us. My actual obedience to praying in the Spirit and being willing to, what, Lord, show me how to pray. Getting up and doing that shut down the schemes of the enemy on our property. Now, it could be other things. I've awakened at night and he will give me a word or a vision of something I've been asking him for. Like my book cover, he gave me the picture of the book cover because I'd been asking and praying, and I fasted and prayed. And so oftentimes he delivers, not when you're just sitting there with your paper at 8 in the morning saying, okay, Lord, I'll talk to you now. No, he says, I'm going to call you. And what we want to do is say, yes, Lord, your servant is listening. Because these are the things, the prayers that you're asking the Lord, he wants to answer them, but he's going to answer in his time, in his way. He's going to get things done that aren't the way we naturally think they should be done. You know, I didn't know until retrospect that he would use my mouth to shut down the schemes of the enemy. You know, sometimes I don't even know the times he's used somebody else's mouth, and they maybe didn't even know. So with all that, the point to this is, let God wake you up. So often I'm all focused on me and will I get enough sleep? How will I feel tomorrow? I'll just promise you that if it's time with the Lord, he will give you strength for the next day. He will give you a refreshing. He is not a God of takeaway. He will put you to sleep. He will allow deep sleep the next night. So just want to encourage you to let God wake you up during these seasons, because these seasons right now, he says, I'm going to pour out dreams, visions. My people will prophesy that. And so sometimes the dreams will be downloads, and then he may wake you up so that you can write it down. He may give you visions in the quietness of the night because he couldn't get you still and your brain still, so your mind, your will, and emotions aren't active. He maybe couldn't get you still during the day. So just want to encourage you with this word that God is doing mighty things in your life. And I want to encourage you to let him wake you up. Can y'all leave me some comments below on if this spoke to you, any of your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you. Hey, Paula, I see you left a comment just sharing about a dream on Monday and how God works. And so just want to encourage you, let God wake you up, because he's got things for his people right now. So y'all have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon.